Hedrowshire Limited Broadcasting Megacorp.
Excuse me for being a two-fisted smoker today, but it is International Women's Day, and when I was thinking about the best way to celebrate, I was like, well, I could do one of those women's marches, but I'm terrible at being a part of a movement. I refuse to lead, and I am not capable of following. So I thought, well, I'll just do my own thing. I'm a woman, and this is my day, so I guess I just get to do what I like best. What things do I really enjoy? Well, I'm going to smoke some of the gift that I received, and I'm going to drink a very highly alcoholic pink drink and get wasted and smoke cigarettes. Perhaps I'll get out the coloring books later. I have a Victorian coloring book that I'm working on. It's very, very intricate, and it's very pretty. So I might do that later. That's a very womanly thing to do, color. And I perhaps will read, because I enjoy doing that. And that's something that women do. Women read books. I guess I'll soak in the bath later. That's what I'll do. I do like baths.
The Duchess Show.
Maybe it's just some sort of a sweat thing.
Starring
Of course, it's got to be heavy to the jowl.
the Duchess of Hedrowshire.
This person told me a bitch. There is a U in cot. And I turn around.
The Duchess Show is filmed before a well-behaved studio audience.
Through the old leaf and into the Georgian wing. Later was the six that were on top of boiled on top of the belt on his head. It's that me to turn into Godzilla. And I'm singing along and dancing in my chair. Oh, Mickey, wow, you're so fat you do. My name is Geek. I was just drinking heavily. What's almost 11 doing that? Hello! Happy International Women's Day. I had no idea about this holiday until just recently. And it was brought to my attention by something or other, and I can't figure out why, but I was like, oh, well, I'm a woman. This must be a big holiday. And then I made myself a pink drink to celebrate. Happy Women's Day. Everybody drink something pink. Our color. Oh, powerful stuff. Powerful. And then I received an International Women's Day gift. What a great way to start out my day. I'm a very, very happy Duchess today, as you can see. Now, just recently there was some controversy on the show. I, unfortunately, called the Duke a racist, and he was deeply upset by my comment. As this sometimes happens, someone makes an off-the-cuff remark and someone gets deeply hurt. And I would never want to hurt his feelings. It was not done intentionally, but it happened. And I just want you all to know he's not a racist. Not a racist at all. At least not the way you're thinking, probably. He's a bit of a racist, but he only racist towards certain members of my family, distant ancestors. But it all works out because I have certain feelings about distant ancestors of his as well. So we won't even go into that right now, because there's no time for it, and we're talking about not being racist. So anyway, the Duke is a fine chap. And in order to prove that he wasn't racist, he's been playing the bagpipes a lot lately. In fact, I was awakened this morning, probably around 3 a.m., or whatever time it is that always happens, in those ghost stories where the people are constantly awakened at the same time every morning by a poltergeist activity. Well, in our house, there's no poltergeists, they're bagpipes. And the Duke was playing them. And I woke up and I was like, what's that noise? Is there a bat in the house? Are the maids and the footmen screaming their heads off? But no, it was the Duke practicing bagpipes. So once I realized that was going on, I was like, well, good. He hasn't seemed to have awakened any of the hounds. They're all still sleeping soundly. So I just rolled over and went back to sleep. Apparently, the rest of the household was a bit bothered by it, though. Everyone's wearing their crabby caps today, and they're all quite cross. They should be happy. Don't know. At any rate, yes, the bagpipes sounded lovely, and it was a great way to wake up this morning. I thought it was a wonderful gesture. Now, another thing that's been troubling him lately is the show itself. He feels that we should be up to, like 143,000 subscribers, and we should have had, 2.65 million views on all of our videos so far. And he's wondering, what's the problem? So he came up with a great marketing solution. He's going to advertise the show. Now, I will tell you, he's been very, very comprehensive. He has paid for 5,000 radio spots on the Hertfordshire Broadcasting One radio. So that's going to be a complete blanket marketing of the radio waves within the Duchy. He has also bought full-page ads for the next 10 editions of Hertfordshire News, which has a circulation of 74. So all 74 people in the Duchy will see this ad. He has also bought demographic targeted ads on YouTube, so that when people go watch a show on YouTube, they'll see an ad from our show if they live in the Duchy, because we're using demographic marketing within a 10-mile radius of the castle. So, in this way, we will have reached every citizen of the Duchy. They will know about the show, and if only half of them tune in, we will gain at least 35 new viewers and perhaps 10 new subscribers. So, watch for a huge jump in the ratings. Barring that, I would just suggest, well, just do what everyone else does, darling. Just buy the views from YouTube. Google it. They tell you how to do it. But I'm just going to let him do it his way first. And then we'll buy the views. Book review time? Yes. Yes, it's book review time. Now, you may be wondering how it took this long. I mean, what did we do? 13 regular episodes and then a couple special episodes last season, and this is the third episode of the second season. Why did it take me so long to do my very all-time #1 favorite book? I don't know. I guess I just wasn't in the mood to review it. But now that I'm in a spectacular mood because it's International Women's Day and I got a present, we are going to do the review of Horse Heaven by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Jane Smiley. She didn't win the Pulitzer Prize for this particular book. She won it for 1,000 Acres, which I thought was rather boring. No one owned any horses, so what was the point? But this book, now, I must tell you that Mrs. Smiley, or Miss Smiley, she actually owns racehorses, and she has frequented the racing tracks and racing milieu. So she knows, she's writing from a position of knowledge. And it's absolutely fabulous because there are so many characters. And I know there are a lot of people who whine, like, oh, well, I couldn't keep track of all the characters. But I don't have problems with that. So I think it's a good book. There are trainers and owners and exercise riders and jockeys. And there's one little girl who just really loves horses and wants one of her own. and they all cross paths at some point and intersect because horses bring them together. Some of the characters in the books are horses themselves. There are four 2-year-old horses. They're all 2-year-olds when they start out racing prospects. And it tells the individual story of what happened to each one. And 2 of them were unsuccessful. Well, they won some races, but that was about it. And then one of them had a rather tragic story, and the other one was completely misunderstood until he found the magic trainer, and they won a big race. Oh, I hope I'm not spoiling anything for you, but you don't know which horse it is that wins the big race, so you just have to read it and find out. And there's a Jack Russell Terrier named Eileen, who is also a character in this book, and she behaves like a complete barbarian all the time, and you get a point of view from Eileen. And you'll see things as a Jack Russell Terrier would, and then you kind of understand why they dig holes and jump up on the kitchen counters and get into the food, and why they would poop in someone's shoe. This is completely explained, so if you've ever wondered why dogs do these things, you can find out by reading this book. Eileen explains everything. All the motivations behind naughty dog behavior. Other than that, it's a great adventure. And one thing I really liked about this book is horses are involved. All the horses get a happy ending and no one dies tragically. I love this book. You've got to read it. 5 stars. Jane Smiley, Horse Heaven. Read it now. Thank you.
The Duchess Show is brought to you by the United Biscuit Company, the makers of Twiglets, and Classic Tips and Sales, and Epona Bloodstock Agency.
And coming up tomorrow, I have a con that I'm going to. Yes. Can you imagine the Duchess at a con? This won't be my first rodeo. Let me reassure you of that. I have gone several years in a row. But this year we will be filming live, and in the next Duchess Show, we will be showing actual footage of the Duchess at the con. I might be partaking in a last-minute panel discussion or some type of workshop type of thing. How to produce your own fantastic original content, something like that. They might want me to, I don't know. I'll just go talk to those organizers tomorrow and just say, well, do you need a bit of help? I'm a Duchess. That's what I'm here for. That's what we do. If you need a helping hand with anything, you can rely on me. I'll be the one. Also, I have not yet found a complete list of workshops and panel discussions, which leads me to believe it's still open. So, I'll just show up in costume, so everyone who watches me on YouTube will recognize me. From there on out, I imagine I'll get the VIP treatment. Also, I'll be attending with Lady Ruin and some of her young friends, the sort of people this event was actually intended for. I realize that as a woman my age, I'm going to be frightfully out of place, but you know me, I'm a Duchess. I do what I want and I don't care what anyone thinks. Last year, a young lady got very upset with me for smoking outside the college. I think, well, it's illegal. Deal with it. I'm a Duchess. Are you going to stop me from smoking outside? I know I'm not in the duchy, but I know my legal rights outside of it. And you're just being a cunt. So, that was the end of that. Whenever a young person is criticizing you, you can shut them up by calling them a cunt. It works every single time. They go off with their feelings wounded. They have no comeback for that. Shuts them right down. So I'm prepared for the con. Other than that, we have, spring is supposed to be starting sometime soon in the duchy. I can't get here quickly enough, quite frankly. were suffering from cabin fever, you see. Even though the castle is huge. Did you like the way I said that? Huge. Sometimes I like to say things in an American sort of way for comic effect. Huge. Yes, that's my American accent. I'm sure you enjoyed that. I'm working on some other words, too, just to amuse you people. If you have a favorite word that you would like to hear me say with an American accent, please feel free to add it in the comments. Be creative, come up with the best words you can think of. Yeah, but it's International Women's Day. But I thought to myself, how should I celebrate? I've already gotten them a gift.
Wait a minute. Okay, International Women's Day Smoke Fest, take 4.
He is having a team of biome designers coming in to build an otter enclosure. So we are going to have an otter enclosure that backs up to the hippo park. So in the summertime, when I look at the hippos and wish I could swim with them, but I know I can't because they're too dangerous, I can go to otter park. And they will have a little stream running through with fish skipping about that they can catch and eat because they know. Anyway, I can go there and frolic around in the stream with the otters. This is my ideal life. It's like living in a dreamland. Yes, I live in the duchy and I frolic with the otters and the fairies come flying through at night to bring me fresh fruit. Before I go to sleep. That's the way things are here in the duchy. Well, not quite yet, but we are working on it. Step.
This has been a Hedgerow Shire Limited Broadcasting Megacorp production.